Thank you for this opportunity. I mean, I like to do this stuff. So
Well, first, congratulations on Waterfront. I just got to check it out. I've only got introduced to the band from Gates of Urkrand, and once I heard that single, I was like, "Oh shit, this is good." And I got to check out your album today. I got to check out your previous album, and it's really good. And I really enjoyed the music. So again, congratulations on the new album coming out.
thank you very much. Thank you.
I'll be talking about the music a lot, but what I want to say is how much I enjoyed, first of all, the whole visual aesthetic of the band, from the Warhammer, obviously, outfits, and your music videos, man. I always bitch about a lot of bands don't have really good music videos. Your music videos are awesome. And what
Thank you very much.
I want to ask you, for you, for the guys, the visual aspect of the band, was that something that was important from the beginning?
To be honest, no. At the beginning was not so important because when we started in 2012, we
Hmm.
just had random medieval stuff, no, that we used to wear just to show on the on the stage our influence. Okay, so where what was the influence of our music? But from the third album, we started to wear like dwarves, and because we like to write music about the dwarves. I mean, in the second album we made The Breed of Durin, that is the first song about the dwarves, from Tolkien. And from that time we realized that people really enjoyed this kind of music, so we say, why not? I mean, it's good, no, to find a way not to be unique.
I 100% agree with you, because I think in general, fantasy and heavy metal have been very much tied together since the beginning. With one of my favorites, which I'll mention later, especially is like Blind Guardian, with their Nightfall and Middle Earth album was awesome back in the day. And then you guys came with a competition there.
Yeah, I mean, Nightfall obviously is one of the albums where we grew with. So,
Of course.
the for example, our first album was called Shadows in Lotadrin, no? Shadows
Hmm.
over Lotadrin, sorry. And this album is a mix between Blind Guardian and Symphony X, no?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we
yeah.
got a lot of inspiration by Nightfall. We got the interlude at the beginning, and we got also the dialogues, in the middle of the album. I mean, it's not available now on Spotify because
Hmm.
it has to be remastered,
Remaster.
but it will be available soon as well. And I mean, Blind Guardian are obviously one of our main inspiration, or at least they were in the past.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And in terms of, doing the Lord of the Rings aesthetic, the Warhammer aesthetic, is there any kind of fantasy universe that you guys yet to explore? You kind of thinking about musically, lyrically, visually?
To be honest, I guess that if until now we just explored the imaginary of Tolkien,
Mhm.
now with the new album, as you said, we are even going in Warhammer. I mean, I don't want just to stop to one word. I mean, I want to explore and to tell even stories from other worlds, all about I mean, mostly of the songs are about the dwarves, no? So,
Mhm.
or at least they are about heroes, fantasy, always fantasies.
Always fantasy based. And I think in general, fantasy stories are very much interesting to adopt and change and incorporate into music. And if I may so be so bold and suggest one universe, it was Witcher. I just started thinking to myself, what if you with your vocals did Witcher, toss a coin to your Witcher? I'm like, that would have been an awesome fucking cover.
I don't know. To be honest, that song, uh, I mean, I understand
Like the
because it's
popularity.
the popularity, because is a earworm, no?
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you start to say toss a coin to your Witcher, oh Elio, but the song itself, in my opinion, it's not
Ah,
that good, I mean, there were more better songs, no, in other kind of in other TV series that they didn't get that popular. But
I agree with you. Yeah, as a song, it could be much better. I agree with you 100%, man. And you know what is when I was listening to Waterfront, I mentioned Blind Guardian something.
Warfront,
Warfront.
Warfront, not waterfront.
I don't know why I misread. I'm so sorry. But Warfront, it reminded me. I mentioned the heyday of like Blind Guardian, when they were at their top of their game, but also things like Ensiferum. I've kind of heard it there sprinkled throughout the music. And to me personally, I tend to go to like death metal, black metal, very heavy music. And power metal seems to be somewhere kind of in the periphery for me, and I still like it. I think your voice was one of the things that really got me to pay attention, because as much as I love the high pitched Rob Halford, Beast in Black or Battle Beast kind of vocals, those high pitched vocals, it gets tiring. And I think it was your vocals and mixed in with the kind of classical instruments with on the piano like you were doing, or maybe the samples you were using, that combination together, what I think gives the band such a unique flavor. Would you agree?
To be honest, I think that obviously I'm not the best singer in the world. Come on, there are a lot of good voices, even better than mine. What I like about my voice is that I can be more than one character. I mean, I can give you more than one color, not just the high pitch, not just the growl, not just the scream, not just the low pitch, but a lot of different colors. So that's why I used to do all the choirs, no, even in the album. I mean, I just called another guy, Tommaso Corvaia, ciao Tommaso. This guy is doing two lines, the lowest one, like the main line is and he's doing like the octave lower, no, because obviously he has a deeper voice, no. But the other choirs are all invented and made by me, because the thing is that I know how I want that a part sound, no. So I try always to put the right taste in that part. For example, if a part requires a battle hymn, I do the warriors, no, like, let's say. If a part is more classical, I can do opera singing. I study opera singing, so I born like an opera singer. And I like this fact that I can put more colors in my vocal lines. Yes.
Also, I would use the example of somebody like Lemmy. Lemmy wasn't the best singer in the world, but he was nobody like him, right? He was unique and one of a kind, and that's what makes you stand out as well. I think also for me, the thing that I kind of found myself banging my head to is your attitude during music videos. You kind of embody the dwarf as the thing, and you're just kind of really into it. And I'm like, oh shit, this, like, it makes me want to have fun. And I don't know what you guys are like in concert. I've never seen you in concert, but I can imagine it's very, very similar in live as well.
Yes. Obviously, the concerts are in my opinion, the best part of our music, because if you have the will to jump, to scream, to sing with us, just listening the album, imagine to be with other, 1,000, 3,000, fucking 50,000 people now, and sing all together these songs and jump. And I mean, it's the best part of the music, in my opinion. So I really like even the live aspect. Is not something that you have to listen, so the people you see that is a little bit listening but not enjoying. I mean, the people enjoy from the first minute, from the first second that we start to the last. They're always jumping and singing or dancing. That's our style.
That's your style. Was the power fantasy, well, I should say power metal, fantasy metal, pagan metal, like all these kinds of things, was that the idea for the band from the beginning, or were there some kind of other ideas you kind of floated around with and just never panned out?
to be fantasies, to make
Well,
fantasy stuff,
well, I mean,
or
even like, let's say you were was the idea of power metal like the beginning, like we want to play something that's more melodic, or you guys even consider something like thrash metal, death metal? Was that always the style you want to go for?
and to be honest, at the beginning, I mean, it depends on. I mean, to make a specific kind of music, probably you have to have specific musicians, no? So with the cars that we had, the Windrose at the beginning was called like Burning Eyes, no? It was it has another name, and it was a cover band of Dream Theater. Okay,
Mm.
so the thing is that I found these guys. I mean, I was like 17 years old, no, and these guys were like 15, and the drummer was like 14, and he was already playing like Portnoy, no, Daniel.
Wow.
So I mean, these guys were super skilled, no, in playing. What they never experienced was the composing music. So I
Okay.
said, okay, I like power metal. You like progressive. Let's do a band. What we do, you know? And we started to put stuff on the fire, no, on the grill. And then we realized that we wanted to proceed with music like progressive, a progressive metal, progressive power metal at the
Progressive power
beginning.
metal. Mhm.
And then in the second album, we just left the progressive part a little bit. Uh, I mean, in the behind to put
Mhm.
more folk elements. And then in the third album, more folk and power and less progressive. And then until we found our way to compose, no, when we found our sound and our way, we said, okay, this is the way that we want to follow. Let's go, no.
And there's also very nice moments of epic, kind of these like what I would see in a Lord of the Rings movie or
Sure.
something of the sort. It has this kind of epic feel to the music. Even stylistically, from your previous album to this one, there's quite a lot of changes stylistically, and it seems you keep evolving, keep adapting.
Sure, sure. I mean, I have no complaints about that because at the moment, as I told even to the other guys, I mean, I guess we are in a vertical growth because every album that I release, I mean, that we release as a band, I always say to myself, this is the best album that I ever made, no? But I say it every time. So and I hope that will be like this even for the next years, no? Because it's the best feeling. I mean, I,
It,
I will I will never release an album that I'm not satisfied, no?
that's the best feeling. I started as a fan of music first, but when I got to start interviewing some of you guys, I realized how personal every project is to the person. And to me, that makes me like a more partial to you right away. And I wanted to ask you kind of a nerd question, just because I'm a big gamer, I'm a big fantasy fan beyond being a
Sure.
metal guy. The outfits, I had two questions. The music videos, I know you have a lot of green screen, and what seems like to be green screen,
Same.
because it's green screen, right?
It's technically it's blue screen because it was blue the green screen. I mean, so it was blue screen, but yeah, I mean, it was a professional studio, and we went there to make up these videos. We made 3 videos. 2 were released, and one is it has to be released in the next months. And it was released today on Napalm Records YouTube channel. Good behind the scenes of
Mhm.
Together We Rise, for
Together,
example.
right?
So if you guys are interested to see how they made this, no, you go there, you watch, and you check Together We Rise making of, and you find it.
And that
Uh, yeah, sure.
I was gonna
Go
say, it's
ahead.
kind of to go along with it with the outfits. Did you guys have somewhere like you just kind of went to like a cosplay or something, or you went to like a professional studio and just had them create
Mm,
it?
to create the costume, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
The costume were made by Freyand, that is a uh, professional factory that make costumes for LARP. So I mean, I'm a LARP player, no? I was, or at least I was, and I always liked I mean, when I see bands that they are dressing common stuff, no, that I can find on the internet in 1 minute, I don't like it because
Yeah.
I'm a LARP player, and obviously I always watch for the armors for myself, no. So when I there is a brand that is very famous now from Germany. I don't say the name because obviously it's not correct. But everyone in the LARP world used to buy stuff from them because they are cheap. But obviously they are very common not to find this kind of armors
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in my opinion, it's shit. No, I mean if you are doing something special, you have to do a unique aspect as well. No, so
I agree with that, and it shows because the effort shows. And when you said LARP, I right away I'm like, that's why you really get into the role. You're not just kind of half-assing it. You really get. You remind me also of Teresa's. I don't know if you remember them.
yeah,
Uh,
sure. I mean, Teresa's even is one of the best inspiration that we have for writing music because, in my opinion, they had a period of time that they were like one of the best metal band in the world.
I agree.
After 2010, they lost a bit, to be honest, because
Hmm.
Teresa's what was Teresa's 2010? No, 2013.
I
I don't know.
think it's that Stand Up and Fight album.
No, after the Stand Up and
Yeah.
Fight, there is Teresa's 2010 or Teresa's 2013. There is an album called like this, and we lost the feeling, no, of the original Teresa's. I don't know why, in my opinion, but it's my opinion.
Of course. And
But
you
when they were in the golden years, they kicked ass.
They kicked ass. You
Yeah.
got to actually also tour with a lot of like really known bands, Winter Sun, Fintroll, right? And Siferium, Epica. My personal favorite, I'm gonna butcher the name, Eluvietti. I fucking love those guys. I wanted to ask you, as somebody like a tour mate, who you were most impressed with, or you even maybe had a moment of like a fanboy moment when you got to see what some of these bands and tour with them.
Uh, fanboy moment. To be honest, yeah, I mean, all the bands that we met on the road was pretty cool to know them. No, especially for example, I want to mention Enciferum because Enciferum we did the first gigs in 2015 together,
Mm-hmm.
and we became friends. No, so I mean when we met together again in early 218 I mean sorry 2018,
2018, yeah.
we just had a blast. They were calling me by name. I mean, so it's not, I mean, it's something stupid, no, but my fanboy moment was that because I arrived and then they were calling me, oh, Francesco, hello, how you doing? I mean, and Ciferum are calling me by name, no, and we are making jokes and we remember even funny moments, all the stuff, making jokes. So uh, it's a very cool experience. If I think that it's one of the band that brought me to the metal scene, no. So I mean, I listened to Ciferum since I was uh, a young boy, no, with the short hair, probably.
Yeah,
So it's like,
you and I both, man.
so I mean,
I
it's
understand. It's
like,
like a brotherhood. You're talking about a brother. You felt the brotherhood. You felt warmth from the band.
yeah. I mean, at the end, you meet these people. Even Winter Sun, that is one of my favorite band. You meet these people, and you see that they are very. I mean, someone is very kind, someone not. No, the band that I mentioned, they were super fantastic. No,
Hmm.
someone else that we toured with or that we played with were more or less kind or they were bad. Someone were assholes. It depends
Of
on the
course.
on the people that you tour with. The important thing is that if you go there, you have always to show who you are, but with respect, no?
Of course.
And in tour it's hard because sometimes, staying a lot of days for weeks, even months together bring even small fights, no? I don't know. You made this. You drink this, but this is mine. No, and
A
it was
little
in the fridge
bullshit.
of
Yeah,
everyone. This kind of bullshits that you will
yeah.
never fight in the normal life. But when
Yeah,
you are together, forced to be together, I mean, in a room with other 15 people, obviously someone has to complain. No, but
of
sometimes
course.
no.
And then one last kind of big question is obviously, I think it's fair to say that our love for fantasy has brought both of us here today to talk to each other. And so I guess my question is, what do you think it was about Tolkien's books or Gary Gygax with D&D that inspired him in Warhammer? What is it about these stories that made them so timeless and that people are adopting them into movies, adopting them into music, such as yourself, and they've lived for so long?
Uh, to be honest, I think that fantasy words like we know them belongs to the past already, because we talk about different races, we talk about specific characters of a specific race. There is like this, and nowadays the trend is to make put everyone on the same plate and make everyone the same, no? But
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, the fantasy words are beautiful because every race that obviously, I mean, usually come from another place of the world, no? Where we are, I mean, like the elves in the woods and the dwarves in the mountains, stuff like this. All the races in the fantasy worlds have different characters, and they have different skills, different shapes. I mean, it's beautiful to discover all these kind of details, no? So I guess that this kind of words in the future will be a little bit lost for the politically correct.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. I
mean,
know.
it's stupid because we are talking about fantasy words.
Fantasy.
No? So fantasy is fantasy. If you kill the orc, poor orc, why you killed him? He didn't make anything, People is like this, and they told me. I mean, they told me someone. There are some comments, on the internet like this. I don't know if they are troll, and I'm not talking about the fantasy race troll. I mean, not trolls like. I'm talking about trolls of the internet, no? And someone, I mean, commented like this, and in my opinion, is the direction that the world is getting, no?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
That
kill the orcs because they are bad, no?
it's getting a
It's
little ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, killing the orcs because they are bad. I wanted to say that is something. It's like make an example. The good prevail on the bad, no,
On the
on the
evil, yeah.
evil. Yeah, it's not about because the orcs has to die or about racism or about this stuff. Come on, this stuff is out from the games, from the fantasy world is out. So
Yeah, yeah.
in my opinion, this kind of words will be explained and tell different in the future. This is my idea, but
You're there.
we will see.
And to kind of close it out, I wanted to personally kind of give you this idea so you understand why I like the band this much. Is it struck a chord with me that I haven't felt for a while in power metal. Because power metal, as good as it can be, like I said, it felt a little bit one noted. And listen to somebody like Windrose gave me the feeling of just this kind of like just raw, badass, old school, but at the same time modernized power fantasy metal. And it really struck a chord with me when I finished listening to both of the albums, and I both enjoyed them really well. So I wanted to personally thank you, and I wanted to leave the last word for you if there's anything you'd like to say to the fans or perhaps new listeners who've never heard of Windrose.
If you are a new fan, and even if you are an old fan of Windrose, be ready because on 10th June will be released Warfront, this album, and obviously don't stop to the singles. just check for the other songs of the album, because in my opinion the singles are the most catchy, the most, are the candies that you have to get, are the anthems that you have to sing along when we play live. But in the other songs that we didn't choose for as a singles for matter of time, because they are too long, or because they were a little bit more out of the lines, out of the standards, check for them, go to check for them, listen them, because you could find some details of and some faces of the project that you didn't find in the single, so you will probably like more. Who knows? I mean,
I'm gonna join that comment and join that sentiment and say the Battle of the Five Armies and I Am the Mountain were fucking kick-ass. Like, I was enjoying and liking the album. When those two songs hit, I was like, holy shit, why didn't I hear this in a single?
yeah. I mean, why? Because Battle of the Five Armies, obviously from Tolkien, is a pretty well composed song in my opinion, and I Am the Mountain. It has even uh, a personal feeling, a personal
Aspects to it, right?
aspects that are very important for me, but they are very long
Long song.
songs. So if you cut them, they lose the feeling, no? Because they are like 8 minutes, but they pass like this.
Yes.
Why? Because uh, it's all in the right spot, in my opinion. No? We spent a lot of time doing this, like months just for one song, no? Because it's all in the right spot, but they are too long. If you cut them, you lose the spirit of the song. So we didn't want to do this.
Yeah, it didn't feel stretched out. I agree with you. And once again, I don't want to keep you any longer. I know you're a busy guy. Thank you very much, my brother. I really
Thank you.
enjoy. If I see you in New York, I'll be coming out and enjoying some of the concerts.
Okay, thank you very much. So see you in United States.
In the United States. You have a good one, my friend.
Bye bye. Thank you very much.